Welcome back to the UpVote channel. Parents of Reddit, what's the worst kept secret you are hiding from your children? I'm the child, but my dad waited till I'm grown up to tell me that my mom gave me a lot of sleeping pills when I was a little child, so she could leave me alone at home to maintain her relationship with her lover while my dad was working in another country. That cleared up many things. Edit. Thanks for everyone wishing me well. I really appreciate that I'm doing well, and it doesn't affected me beside that I don't remember much about my childhood, but I didn't suffer or whatever. Meanwhile, I'm dealing with depression and anxiety since a few years, but I'm not sure if this links to the drugging. But meanwhile, I'm pretty good at being depressed, to be honest, haha. Otherwise, is my life really good? I want to clear up that I'm in okay terms with my mom. She learned from her mistakes, and I forgave her. I just don't forgive her that she did my dad so dirty. My dad is the greatest person I've ever known, and he deserves to be happy. People are brutal. Wow, sorry man. My parents told me my sister is adopted. They didn't tell her. She's 34. By the way, help, what do I do? Buy the whole family DNA test kits for Christmas and watch the world burn. That we're divorced. Years before they came along, spouse and I decided it wasn't working out and got divorced. Years later, things still weren't working out fantastically for both of us, so we got back together. Never did get around to getting remarried though. That I don't actually enjoy watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. My 2-year-old would be devastated because that's our show. I was so relieved when my kids started watching SpongeBob. I'm not the parent, I'm the child, but my family kept it a secret that my brother was a child molester and that my grandpa had raped my mother and threatened to kill us grandkids. I found out because I told my sister that my brother had molested me, and she told me about the rest. We were raised having a relationship with them, like they were normal human beings. It's absolutely disgusting. My uncle molested all 3 of his sisters, and everyone acts like it's no big deal. It's just not talked about at all. I don't speak to him because my father told me when I was very young to never be in a room alone with him, but also because he's an insufferable C*** who thinks he's better than everyone. My daughter knows that her grandparents are getting a divorce. She doesn't know that it's because Grandpa, 72, decided to knock up a 23-year-old. We will talk about it once she's older, but I don't want to normalize that relationship for a pre-adolescent. Edit. This is my father-in-law. He's definitely not rich, in fairly impressive shape for a dude pulling Social Security, and I am happily ignorant as to the status of his erections. It's a small town story with a fucked up single mom and an old man that hasn't experienced much emotional growth since being drafted for service in Vietnam. These people would never end up together if they were emotionally healthy and didn't have control issues. I am definitely going to do my best to explain to my daughter, but she's 9 and emotionally overwhelmed by the very idea of the divorce. When she comes to me to talk about it, having processed the idea, then I will explain the situation more fully. My husband has already told his dad that our family and his new family won't be getting together for a barbecue anytime in the foreseeable future. Edit 2. A lot of you dudes are assuming a lot about 23. I would remind you that we are talking about small town, single mama, daddy issues, rural deep south, grandpa fucking 23. Y'all are a bunch of optimists. So the aunt will be younger than the niece? That she can't have a relationship with her grandfather because he's a pedophile, and I would never trust him. The rest of my family maintains a relationship with him, and leans on me hard to open up communication because family comes first. They are absolutely right. My family does come first, which is why my daughter won't ever have to have a relationship with him. Edit. He has molested/raped multiple members of my family, and I only found out when I was pregnant with my daughter. Without going into too much detail, he also has a mental illness, and I've been told that I need to let him have a relationship with my daughter because he's sick and couldn't help it. I never actually took his nose. It stayed on his face the whole time. In fact, it has never once left his face, even though I have told him that I took it countless times. I even showed him the tip of my thumb as evidence of the theft. Sorry you had to read that, but it feels really good to come clean. Edit. Thanks for all the responses, Osam. I will tell him the truth eventually, but have to make sure Mom is on board too. For those of you condemning me, your words weigh heavy. But honesty, much like a fire at the circus, is intense. My son's older half-sister molested him, and that's why we don't see them anymore. Waiting until we can get into a psych for support before we break it to him. Edit. He was 3 when it happened, so was able to tell us, quite graphically, what was happening. The sister also admitted it, and said she did it because it was funny, and she liked to hurt him. DCP, Child Protective Services, became involved and investigated both families, but couldn't find anything suspicious. We are telling him because we very strongly believe it is the right thing to do. We don't know what/how much he remembers, and would much prefer to give him the coping skills now instead of possibly letting him disintegrate into a non-functioning adult with massive problems. Thank you so much for all the support. It is a horrible thing to deal with, but we are going to do everything in our power to love and support him. I am so sorry that so many of you had to go through similar situations. I am proud of every one of you for surviving and fighting. Be sure to write in the comments what you think about it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and watch our other videos.